Alright, we're breaking down a Penn Fierce today. This is 2500 Fierce 2. It's pretty much like most other Penn reels out there. Not that hard, there's a few slight differences, but here we go. We'll start by taking off the spool. Next, we'll take off the knob. Next, the cap. Next, we're going to take off the bottom. Remove this. Now we remove 1, 2, and 3 to get to the gearbox. Alright. Now we take off this screw in the main shaft. The smaller reels will only have one screw, the bigger reels will have two. 1, 2, so you have to spin this around a little bit to get to the second one, and once it comes down it'll be accessible, but this one only has one, so just remove that. Once that's removed, you can pull the shaft right out. Set that to the side. To do the rotor, you go from the top. You're going to remove this screw, which takes off the locking nut. Then you remove that piece on top. I'll have my flathead here, so I gotta like shimmy it off a little bit. And then you have access to the main nut, which you need to take off the rotor. So you get to the rotor. Be careful not to strip it. Put this to the side, and the rotor comes off. Now, at this point, you could pull off the main gear, and the bearing popped up with it. And this is the gear for the knob. It makes the whole, well, it makes the shaft rotate. And you have the pinion gear, and we're not gonna break into that. It's usually, you can just usually add a couple drops of oil and put some grease in the shaft and you're good. I did this reel not too long ago. I use Penn Precision oil and Penn Precision reel grease. You can see it already turned gray. The grease brand new is, you know, like a tealish blue. I'll put a little more over here on the pinion anyway. Doesn't hurt. And yeah, we'll just put it back together. Start with the bearing. Push that in there. Put a little grease on it. Then the main gear looks pretty well greased. I'll put some on the tip that goes into the bearing. But first, we're gonna put this gear, and then the piece that goes over it is the piece that the shaft goes in. So make sure that's seated at the bottom. Then we'll go with the main gear, and you gonna have to shimmy it into there so it makes contact with that other gear that we just put. And now that's pretty much that for that. Put a little gear in this shaft and around these bearings. That's it. We'll throw the rotor back on. And we'll get our locking nut. Just gonna tighten that. Hand tight, nice and snug. Then we're gonna get our locking clip here, slide that over, and we're gonna put our nut to hold down that locking clip. So that doesn't get loose. Now we're gonna replace the shaft. So with the flat side in front, you just slide the shaft down there and make sure it goes into this piece right there. And we're gonna secure it with our screw. Okay, so that's nice. And we're gonna put our cover back on. So our cover is 3 screws and those little plastic washers. So that's 1. Two, 3. And just gonna tighten those down. Once that's done, you put the front cover plate, the impact plate, on, and that's held in by 1 screw. And just tighten that. And put the side cap back on. At this point, don't forget to lube the spring and the clicker on the rotor. And you can go ahead and put that back on. That's good. This has to go out for new line. We have to get a new line. From here, we just put the handle back on. And it's good to go. My friend actually found this reel in Florida. It was underwater, and yeah, he's had it for about 3 years now, and it still works beautifully. It's caught some fluke on it, some nice size fluke. Little reel does work, man. Penn stuff is always pretty good for the price. Thanks for watching.